A very warm hello and good evening to all of you watching. Shiba Ashraf has just joined. Hi Shiba, how are you doing? I hope I'm loud and clear and there is no technical irregularity whatsoever. You can hear me all right, Shiba? Well, this session is going to be beneficial for all those students who are actually trying to improve on grammar and vocabulary and other sections apart from the reading comprehension part. We have been doing, dedicated sessions on CMAT Shiba, and today's session is going to be particularly we'll talk about some of the question patterns that you will confront and face in CET MBA, CET MH exam. But there will be some concepts which are going to be, coinciding with some of the question patterns of CMAT also. So stay tuned, and I hope you will definitely earn dividends out of today's session. Krishna, good evening. Jagdish, good evening. Shiba, Ansari, Rayan, good evening. Hello, all of you. Hello. Good evening. A very warm welcome to all of you. So quite a few have joined me already. So आज हम कुछ धमाल करने वाले हैं. We'll talk about some grammar questions, and you know that after RC, grammar and vocabulary and the other exams like the other components like parajumbles and all, they become all of a sudden very important. And in today's session, we will talk about the grammar questions and all the other areas of CMAT which we have not touched so far. In my earlier session, we have taken some questions on RC. We have done a dedicated session on parajumbles, and today we are going to talk about the other important areas of CMAT. So stay tuned and let's enjoy the session. Kinjal, good evening. Vishal, good evening. Interview ke liye definitely we are, that the WAT program is going on, Vishal. If you have seen, being taken up by Gautam sir and all. So please attend that session, talk to our counselors, and you will get all the vital information regarding our interview preparation also. Okay. Interview के लिए tips definitely देंगे विशाल, but आज का जो session है, this session is going to be slightly different, and this is the agenda that we are going to talk about. हम कुल मिलाकर के 5 एजेंडे पे बात करेंगे. We are going to be talking about 5 different agendas when we talk about grammar questions, when we talk about vocab questions. ये 5 एजेंडा आपका जो टेम्पो है, आपका जो रिदम है for grammar questions वो सेट कर देगा. Number 1, we'll talk about the logical structure of the questions, how to think logically. That is very important. Right? In grammar, apart from the technicalities, the parts of speech, the tenses, the subject-verb agreement, the preposition errors, हम technically कितना ज़्यादा sound सोच सकते हैं उसके बारे में बात करेंगे. We'll also talk about some fill-in-the-blanks questions. A few questions we'll take up from fill-in-the-blanks. Anirudh, hi, how are you? I hope you're doing absolutely fantastic, all of you out there. Lecture is going to be more or less for 1 hour, kind of. Yes, Jagdish. I hope we all are well set, right? Time engross karenge, time spent karenge. 1 hour is nothing, right? So mission is to see through all the questions that we have to discuss today. Incorrect expression, grammatical error, incorrect expression. ये एक टॉपिक बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट रहेगा, उसके ऊपर हम डिस्कस करेंगे. Sentence completion based on idioms. Now we have seen questions based on idioms like match the column and all. Today we'll look at questions based on sentence completion idioms and fillers, multiple blanks. We also call them cloze test. So these are some of the questions which we are going to cover in today's session. So out of so many questions, out of 50 odd questions, right, there will be 20 plus questions, right? And these are the areas which will consume your more than 20 questions. Now that is huge number. So out of 20, if you can score a good 20 out of 20, just imagine what blessing you will do to yourself, what good you will do to yourself, and what is the overall difference that this score will have on your net MAH CET percentile. Alright, so in questions को हम थोड़ा ध्यान से देखेंगे and we will try to figure out the right way to approach these questions. right? Okay. Zyada samay nahi lagega. Jagdish, don't you worry and don't cry. I'll try to make you laugh. Okay, so let us smile with the very first question, right? Now, it is important to look at the question topic. What is the caption? Which of the following sentence does not contribute to the main idea of the paragraph? Now, you have a number of sentences over here. There are 5 sentences जो कि एक टॉपिक के बारे में बात कर रहे हैं, बट एक सेंटेंस ऐसा है जो ऑड वन आउट है. सो डू नॉट contribute or does not contribute का मतलब हो गया we are dealing with the odd one out question. This is a very easy section. बस थोड़ा सा हमें logically और focused way में सोचने की जरूरत है. Right? I'll give you 10 seconds to read the question and then we will start the discussion. 10 seconds starts now. Okay, let us read the question. Anuja is the first one to answer. She says it has to be B. All right. I'm waiting for the other answers to come through. Please be proactive. Let us play this game together. And isko question mat samjho. Let us, consider this to be a game and we are kind of playing a game together. A says, from next year, two-wheelers will have to have a headlight that will light up as soon as the engine is turned on. B says, the government has issued a notification that all two-wheelers manufactured in the company for next year must have a provision of automatic headlamp on AHD like daytime running lamps found in cars. C says, no horsepower figures have been released but the two-wheeler manufacturer has conveyed that its new range of bikes is among the safest ones across the globe. Okay. D says, once this system is fitted in two-wheelers, riders won't have a switch to turn the headlight off as it would be automatic. And E says, two-wheelers without AHD as a single category of vehicles accounted for the highest number of total road crashes. Now, don't you think this question is a pretty straightforward one, right? इसमें कोई grammar involved है? The answer is no. कोई technical inputs involved है? The answer is no. What do we have to do? We have to rely on our logic and find out the odd one out. A talks about two-wheelers, headlight. B talks about, again, two-wheelers and AHD headlamp. C talks about horsepower figures. D talks about once this system is fitted in the two-wheelers, this system means the AHD that we have spoken about in B, right? Headlight, common link जुड़ रहा है आपके साथ. And E talks about two-wheelers and AHD. Again, what are we talking about? Automatic headlamp. The only option that talks about something different is C. We are talking about horsepower figures. It has got nothing to do with headlamps or two-wheelers. So C is the odd one out, and most of you have answered the question absolutely immaculately. It is C, right? So the odd one out question can be a net score maximizer for you. You can score very highly on such questions and the language is going to be easy enough for all of you to understand. Let me assure you on that. So if we can do these questions logically and confidently, we are going to have a very easy paper, let me tell you. Okay, you just have to have your logical thinking hat on your head. So that was question 1 for you. Game over. Most of you have won. Can I take you to the next question very quickly? Okay, so this was question number 1 for you. Let us look at question number 2. Again, if you look at the question, does not contribute. So, क्या सोच सकते हैं? Odd one out question है. Question number 2 is also an odd one out question. All right. Let us read the question for 10 to 15 seconds and then we will start the discussion. There are quite a few sentences, there are quite a few questions which are waiting for you. Interesting questions. If we get the logic right, the answer will be right in front of you. Please read. Okay, guys, the reading time is over and you have started to key in the options already. Most of you have answered A. That's wonderful. And guess what? A is the right answer. But let us discuss why A is the right answer. Let us read each and every sentence carefully and thoroughly. Software. A says software is eating the world, but we are presented with an abundance of value being generated for consumers. So A talks about how software, is slowly covering up the entire world. B says, except that this time there hasn't been half as much noise from internet users or in the media as there was in the case of free basic plan. We are talking about some kind of free basic plan over here. C says, as per new article, telecom companies wish to curb internet. Telecom companies wish to curb internet speed to 64 kbps in order to ensure fair usage. D says, while the debate around net neutrality in the country seems to have been settled for now, internet activists and telecom companies could be at loggerheads. At loggerheads means to fight with each other. This is an idiom, at loggerheads. It means to fight with each other, to have a quarrel or a fight. Very soon, once again. E says this was in response to a tribe consultation paper that recommended download speed in a broadband connection to ensure equitable access to usage. You might have noticed a similarity among these sentences. We are talking about plan, telecom, try, right? The telecom industry. Only one option talks about, A talks about the software, which has got nothing to do with the telecom companies or try or, anything, that we have discussed over here or the internet. Software is independent. So this one is the odd one out. Okay, absolutely, Shiva. The other sentences are talking about internet or telecom. You are right. So A is the odd one out. So two questions. So far, so good. We are game with the first two questions. We have started our journey on an excellent footing. Keep this confidence high and we are going to take you through the other questions. And I hope you will get the other questions right as well. All right. So logical connect is very important, does not contribute. You might have seen such questions in CAT also in the form of odd one out. The only difference is these questions are going to be relatively easier for you to comprehend and understand. All right. Let us move to the next question. Here we are going to talk about complete the sentence or sentence completion. No vocab technique involved over here. Just read the question and try to figure out the option. This is an easy question. Let me give you the hint right at the outset. All right. So question number 3. Okay, so let's start talking about the question. This was an easy question, so I don't think you need much time to actually see through the concept, right? Priyanshi has already answered. It should be D, sir. All right. D, D, D. All right, all right. Congratulations to all of you. Let me see if you have got this one right or not. Let's see. If you want to buy a fully self-driving car, you may have to wait dash. The sentence starts with the condition. If you want to buy a fully self-driving car, तुम्हें wait करना पड़ जाएगा, right? Let us see. Autonomous vehicles will initially be offered for sale not to private owners but to robotic fleet operators. If you, what is the subject you? So you don't fall under this category. And the question categorically says, the sentence categorically mentions that these fully self-driving car will be presented to the private, not to private owners, but to robotic fleet operators for two reasons. Now, whatever the reason is, if you want to buy this car, you may have to wait. Now, A does not go with wait, right? Wait immediately, does it make sense? No. Wait no longer. You have to wait because the cars are not going to come to you anytime soon. C, none of the given options. Let us see if C is the right answer. D says for another decade. Now this is an exaggeration. This is a hyperbola. तुम्हें एक और decade wait करना पड़ेगा, which actually means for a very long time. Literally, you don't have to wait for a decade or so, but you have to wait for a long time to get this car under your belt. So for a very long time is definitely a very close one, but let's look at E. At a price, of course, if you want to buy something, it comes at a price. So wait does not go with price. The answer is D, for another decade. Jagdish, I am sorry dear, the answer has to be for another decade, which means for a very long time, and that is the tone of the sentence. Now, whenever you're dealing with fill in the blanks questions and the options are this easy, always follow the tone, right? The author is losing his patience. He says, तुम्हें wait करना पड़ेगा for a very long time because तुम्हारे पास तो already ये भी आने वाला नहीं है. This will be offered to the private owners. And this will not be offered to the private owners but to robotic fleet operators. That is why the best option is D. Always go by the tone when you're dealing with the fill in the blanks questions. Okay, so that was question number 3 for you people. Now let us look at another question, right? This question will be, again, not very difficult, but it may be slightly tricky for you, right? Let us read the question, then we will discuss. All right, my friends, let us look at this question. Let us look at this question. Most of you have answered A. Most of you have answered A. Okay. AAC, all right, all right, all right. Okay. The question begins on a very serious note, right? There is a sense of worry. There is a sense of worry. What is it? Here is a grim fact. Grim means serious. All right? Grim means serious. We are talking about something very serious over here. Here's a grim fact. According to the leading diaper maker in Japan, adult diapers now outsell baby diapers. Okay, so adult diapers for the old people and baby diapers for babies, right? So adult diapers are on the rise. Okay, they outsell baby diapers. So all of a sudden there has been a sudden increase in the adult diapers. That you have to think on this. Why is it happening? That's because comes the reason. That's because a quarter of the country's population is 65 or older. Don't you think this is the grim fact that the passage is talking about? Don't you think that the adult population or the old population of Japan is on the rise? And this is a grim fact that this sentence is talking about, right? By 2060, now comes the prediction, right? Talking about the future. By 2060, that population means the old population will dash 40%. Will dash 40%. You need a verb. Will plus verb, right? Will hit 40%, will extend 40%. Extent is a noun. The extent of anything, the expanse of anything. Reduce means to go down, but going by the sentence, do you think the population will reduce? Right? Will fall. Now, if you want to use the word reduce and fall, remember these words, these verbs, right, will take by as a preposition. But after will, there is a blank, and right after blank, we are talking about a percentage. So reduce does not make any sense over here. Fall also does not make any sense over here, right? Raise is a noun. Rise, had it been rise, right, which is a verb, we would have thought of E. Okay, but again, rise would have taken a preposition by with it. So the only option that we are left with is hit. Will hit 40%. Now, hit, idiomatically speaking, hit talks about something, to arrive at something. To arrive at something, okay? But it has a very shocking note to it. It has a very negative connotation to it. It has a negative connotation. So adult population hitting 40%, right? And that is a grim fact. So the only option that we are left with out of these five is hit. Hence A is the right answer option, right? So whenever you look at the options, the words may look like being very close to each other. Okay, but you have to use your logic. You have to use the inputs present in the sentence to bring home the right option. As in this case, A was the right answer option. All right. Raise, Suraj, raise, as I have already explained, it's a noun. Right? Raise, given raise. Raise does not make any sense over here. So will rise. Had it been rise, we would have considered rise. But then rise के साथ तुम्हें by भी चाहिए, जो कि है नहीं blank के बाद, right? That is why A is the right option over here. The answer is A for question number 4. I hope you have understood, right? Hit also means to beat someone. Of course, in a confrontation, if you hit something, right? Hit can have many meanings, like take a hit, right? Let's consider this, right? Or was badly hit, okay? To have a negative impact on something, right? But over here, the idiom, the entire expression would mean to arrive at something, and that too negatively. Let's talk about, for example, if we talk about the population of India, right? It is growing at an alarming rate, 135 crores, right? 10 years down the line, we may hit 200 crores. So that hit, we may hit 200 crores. So this hit means to clock, to arrive at. That is why over here it should have been the right option. All right. That was question number 4 for us. Look out for these, certain tonal changes in the words and then figure out which option fits the best. Okay. Let's move on to the next question. This question, again, we are going back to grammar now. Let's talk about grammar, right? We have to identify the option that gives us the grammatically incorrect option. The grammatically incorrect option. All right. 10 seconds to go through this question and then we will begin the discussion. Jagdish, will in the previous question was okay because we are talking about a certain, prediction which the author probably was absolutely sure about. Okay, may is also right, but it was the author's prerogative. It was the author's right to use will over there. Okay, both are helping verbs. Both could have been correct. Guys, if you are really liking the session, please don't forget to hit the like button. In this case, I have used it positively. Please hit the like button and share it with your friends. All right. So here we go. What is the question? The question is the sentence is divided into 4 parts. Choose the part that is or are grammatically incorrect. Okay, so what is the question? With big fields looking after, most farmers turn to artificial herbicides, but organic farmers do not and can suffer lower yields as a result. A says suffer lower yields as a result. B says no error. C says organic farmers do not. D says big fields looking after. And E says most farmers turn to artificial herbicides. Now, if you look at the question, yield means the return, the growth in the crops. Like you grow crops. So why do you grow crops? Because you expect an yield, the quantity of the crop which you can consume or sell in the market, the yield. Like we say that this year the yield was not good, or this year God has been kind, so the yield was excellent. In Hindi we call it paidawar or growth, that is yield. All right, Shiva? Okay. So if you look at this part, with big fields looking after. Now, who would look after the fields? The farmers, right? So, don't you think the expression should be looking after the big fields? Looking after the big fields. Now, ask yourself a question. Looking after the big fields. Now, who would look after the big fields? The farmers? Okay, this is a modifier and it modifies farmers. So the first part was supposed to be a modifier, but here we had a problem. It was wrongly constructed. It had a very bad grammatical construct. So it should have been looking after the big fields. Who? The farmers. All right. And that takes us to option A. Sorry, I'm so sorry. Option D. Big fields looking after. This is wrong. The rest of them are fine. So D should have been the answer over here. So what was the concept? The concept was modifier errors. Right? Modifier errors. So we will have to go back and check our modifier concepts which we had done in the class already. Right? Check those concepts. So this was an error based on the structure of grammar. Alright, the first part did not make any sense, so we had to change it, and this was supposed to be the change over here. Okay, so D was the problem, right? Modifier, yes, Ritvik, if I've read your name right, yes. Now, what is modifier error? For example, if I say, Sitting on the grass, the snake bit him. All right. Now, sitting on the grass, the snake bit him. Now, sitting on the grass is an expression, and the very word that comes after sitting on the grass is snake. Now, a snake cannot possibly sit on the grass. He was sitting on the grass when he was bitten by the snake. So, we have to change the sentence like, if the modifier is sitting on the grass, now ask yourself a question. Who was sitting on the grass? He was bitten by a snake. Such questions are known as modifier errors. Sometimes the modifiers are wrongly placed, or sometimes, the modifiers are unstructured, and that is why, errors crop up. So this was a problem based on modifier. I hope you have understood the concept over here, right? So even if you don't know the concept, just by going through the sentence, if you're reading the sentence properly, you will be able to come home with the right kind of answer. Like, with big fields looking after, does it make any sense to us? It does not make any sense. So definitely this part has to have a problem. So D should have been the right answer. All right. So that was question number 5 for you. Moving on to the next question. All right. Same, let us carry forward the same idea and the same thought process. In this question, we have to find out the grammatically incorrect part. Grammatically incorrect part. Let us read question number 6. The modern era of autonomous vehicles began a competition organized by the US military held in March 2004 in the Mojave Desert. A. The US military held. B. In the Mojave Desert. C. No error. D. The modern era of autonomous vehicles. And E. Began a competition. 10 seconds and then we will try to figure out the answer. All right, here comes the very first answer. Okay, quite a few. Jagdish has answered already. I have seen your answer, Jagdish. Thank you, Jagdish. Jagdish has keyed in E to be the right answer. What about the others? Very quickly. It is an easy question again. So if you look at the options one by one, the US military held, they conducted when? In March 2004. So past indefinite tense makes sense, does not have any problem, so A is fine. In the Mojave Desert, this competition was held, or whatever, we are talking about was held in the Mojave Desert. Even this expression is not wrong. The modern era of autonomous vehicles, we are talking about the era. Right? The modern time of autonomous vehicles began dash competition. Now, when you talk about autonomous vehicles, they will have to compete with each other for supremacy, for excellence. So, E says began a competition. Right? The answer should have been began with a competition, competing with each other. Right? Began with a competition. This should have been the right expression. Began a competition does not make any sense, and that is why E has a problem. Began a competition is wrong, right? So E is the right answer for this question. Okay. Nandini, Kinjal, I'm so sorry, Kinjal. Nandini, it is not C. You know why it is not C. E has a problem. So E has a definite problem over here. because it is missing a vital preposition. Okay, and the connect was missing, the thought process was missing. That is why E in this case should have been the right answer choice. Began with a competition. All right. So E was the right answer choice for question number 6. We are going back to grammar. We have come back to grammar. So let us stick with some more questions that will help us understand the concepts which you should brush absolutely, thoroughly. Brush up these concepts thoroughly for MAH CET or CMAT, whatever exams you are appearing for. All right. Now, this is again a sentence completion question, right? But over here, we are going to deal with idioms, right? Look at the question. Complete the sentence in the most meaningful manner. I am telling you, my friends, please practice such questions day in and day out, and believe you me, it will work wonders for you, right? Be in the habit of solving as many mocks as possible and get into the habit of solving at least 50 to 70 such questions every day in order to be in the habit of solving these questions. जब हम ज़्यादा questions solve करेंगे, so you are in the swim, right? And you get that confidence. Concept को learn करना is very important, but then कहीं ना कहीं तो apply करेंगे. So you need questions to apply these concepts. All right? Question number 7. Let us look at the question. It is not that the management is not aware of few false bills here and there, but they don't call it because it would expose many. And so deep down we know that the management does not want to do something that can rake up a controversy, right? That can spell trouble for them in the times to come. It is not that the management is not aware, but they don't want to do anything for the fear of what? Most of you have answered. Most of you have answered B. A says would be a blessing in disguise. Some bad plan, some unfortunate event that can turn out to be a blessing eventually. That would be a blessing in disguise. So this has a very positive connotation to it. Stir up a hornet's nest to invite trouble. Right? Goes well with the feel of the sentence. Let us keep this into consideration. C says, beating around the bush, to be confused, to be absolutely indecisive. Right? You don't know whether to choose A or B. You are indecisive. You're beating around the bush, being indirect. Would bite the bullet, face trouble. Right? Bite the bullet, face trouble. Right? When he was facing financial crisis, he had to bite the bullet. That's how we speak, right? So over here, the expression is stir up a hornet's nest, to invite trouble, to rake up a controversy. So B should be the right answer choice. All right. So B is our answer over here. बात को घुमाना, ये शिवा, that is beating around the bush. बिल्कुल सही बात है. Okay. Similar pattern of question, same idea. We are talking about select the best option which completes the sentence in the most meaningful manner. Same thing as question number 7. Max fell dash in love with her colleague and wants to marry her. Alright. क्या हो सकता है हमारे लिए? जल्दी से बताएंगे. Okay. Krishna has marked D. All right. Okay. Thank you, Krishna. Kinjal has also marked D. All right, Kinjal. Okay. Now, Max अपने कॉलीग के प्यार में पड़ गया. Right? He fell in love. Right? So अगर next time तुमसे कोई पूछे, right, is love positive or negative, तुम आंसर दे सकते हो love is negative. Why? You always fall in love. You don't rise in love. Just kidding. Jokes apart, right? So Max fell dash in love with her colleague. Hang in there means to be persistent. Okay? In your effort, to be persistent. Okay? Let himself off the hook. किसी को बिना punishment दिए छोड़ देना. Okay? To let go somebody. To let go somebody without punishment. This is the idiom, right? He was let off the hook, right? Go back to the drawing board. It means to start over. दोबारा शुरू करना, right? To start over. Head over heels completely, right? और इसका मतलब ये भी हो सकता है upside down, turn over, right? Or in this case, to be madly in love with someone. Okay, so D is the right answer option. Head over heels. Max fell head over heels in love with her colleague and wants to marry her. Okay, all right. किस बात पे आप इतना हंस रहे हैं? Right? On my joke? All right. No, I mean love is very optimistic. I take my words back. All right. Let's look at question number 9, my friends. Solve the question and mark the appropriate answer. Now look at the structure. Structure को देखो. छोटा सा paragraph, 3 blanks, right? So इसको हम close test भी कह सकते हैं. Okay, very frequently asked question in bank PO and all. But look at the question, right? 1 paragraph, 3 blanks, very straightforward answer options. Let's consider them. 10 seconds and then we'll start. Please share this session and like this session like my team is requesting you, right? Itna to like banta hai, right? I hope we are not boring you people. So please like the session and spread the word around. All right, Abhishek has keyed in B. Krishna has also keyed in B. Let us see what the answer is. But first of all, question ko dekho. The recently dash peace deal with the United States and the Taliban is unlikely, not possible, to bring dash to Afghanistan, is geopolitically disadvantageous. So what is geopolitically disadvantageous? This peace deal. For whom? For India. And has serious dash for our national security. We are talking about something very serious over here. Okay. A says, now let us talk about the options. A says aggression, animosity, problems. Aggression is some kind of growth, right? Aggression is growth or increase, right? Animosity means enmity. Problems, you know. So does it fit the bill? The recent aggression peace deal doesn't make, okay. B says the recently negotiated peace deal between United States and the Taliban is unlikely to bring peace to Afghanistan, is geopolitically disadvantageous for India and a serious implication, ramification, iska dushprabhav. It will have a serious impact. So implication is negative impact. So B is too strong an answer option. So we will keep B in our consideration. C talks about the recently bonding peace deal. Does it make any sense? Bonding peace deal? No, bond means to come together, to bond with each other. Treaty, a kind of agreement, right? Between the United States and Taliban is unlikely to bring treaty. You don't bring treaty, you have a treaty, you signed a treaty, right? Advent means the arrival or the start. To have a serious advent does not make any sense. Even C is out. Mark, a spot in D. Landscape, a big piece of land and you can see across it. Society, D. Pass kahin nahi hai connection. E is entry, solvent, amalgamation. Amalgamation means to come together, to mix. Like a company A, amalgamates with company B, a kind of mix or coming together, a fusion. Solvent, a liquid in which things dissolve, or legally speaking, when you are in a position to pay off all your debts and loans, legal debts and loan, we say the company is still solvent. Why? Because the company is able to pay off all the loans, right? So even E does not make any sense over here. Anything that has a serious implication, this is a very strong word. So B is the right answer option. All right. Yes, Levi, it means to merge. Absolutely right. Amalgamation means to merge. Yes. So in this case, B is the right answer option, right? Because all the words fit so excellently in all these blanks. All right. So that was question number 9 for us. And practice such questions. The questions are going to be easy enough for you to understand. You just have to solve a few questions to get back the confidence. All right. The next question. The next question, guys. Question number 10. Again, a closed test. Solve the question and mark the appropriate answer. Read the question and I'll talk to you 15 seconds from now. Animosity is enmity. When you don't have good relationship with each other, Anirudh, that is animosity. Enmity. Discord. All right, Krishna has answered A. All right. Okay. So most of you have answered, quite a few of you have answered A. All right. Let's read the question. Just 1 year later, the novel coronavirus dashed the Chinese government to issue the largest dash order in human history, affecting, to result in something. Affecting means to result in something. Affecting an dash 45 million people. Now over here, the word an, the article an, rules out B, because B has proclaimed, it starts with P. You cannot have a consonant after an, so B is out. Okay, we are left with A, C, D and E. If you're talking about coronavirus, right, the government will be forced to issue, quarantine order, to stay at home, quarantine order in human history, affecting an estimated, a speculative figure, 45 million people. Out of all these options, ablution means a kind of washing, okay, to purify something, that is ablution. Havoc is destruction. Although coronavirus has wreaked havoc on all of us, but C does not fit the bill over here. So C is out of question. Penury means poverty. Okay. Saddle can be a sit, a seat on a horseback or on a bike, and saddle up. Yes, Krishna, it was definitely an easy one. Okay. Saddle up, saddle also means a burden. You know what whip is? Assimilate means to thoroughly understand something, to put into brain, to understand, to assimilate information. So A was the right answer option. So this was the answer in front of you. So when you solve the questions, sometimes just a mere look at the question will help you zero in the right answer option. All right. So this was question number 10 for us, and it was really an easy one. Absolutely right. Okay. The next question. Now look at this question. In this question, there are 2 sentences, right? Fill in the blanks. From the given option, you have to choose only one word that can be fitted into, these 2 options, these 2 sentences. You have to choose only one word. All right. The caption is missing. Thank you, Jagdish. Thank you so very much. I'm honored. Thank you for your love. And Anything for you guys? We just hope that you do the best and you put your best foot forward. All right. I think you're Ashraf. I think Shiva, you are referring to the word animosity, if I'm not wrong. Let me see if I can come back to this question, Shiva. Give me 2 minutes. All right, this question. Our dash sea lion has been safely transported back to Columbia River. 2 says, many religious texts legitimize keeping dash women under control through the use of physical violence. तुम्हारे पास दो अलग अलग sentences हैं, right? The first one says, our dash sea lion has been safely transported back to the Columbia River. This sentence gives you a feel that after much struggle, the sea lion was at bay. वो पकड़ में नहीं आ रहा था, right? It was not easy to catch that sea lion. But finally, they succeeded in their effort and they could finally put the sea lion back to the Columbia River. So what is the word that shows the sea lion being out of control? All right. Many religious texts legitimize keeping dash women under control through the use of physical violence. How can you keep women under control? Physical violence. Not my thought, just a sentence. All right. So over here it says legitimizing keeping what kind of women do you want to keep under control? Under control means what? If you want to bring something under control, it means something which is beyond control, right? Something which is beyond control or difficult to control, right? The word is wayward, all right? Wayward means headstrong, all right? Obstinate or difficult to control. So in both the cases, the word should have been wayward. Register is not the right word over here. Perquisite means benefits, perks. Authentic means real. Concordant means in agreement. Concordant means an agreement. Yes, Krishna, the answer is B. Wayward should have been the answer. Our wayward sea lion, okay, and wayward women. So this was the first 11 questions which I wanted to serve on the platter for all of you. In my next session, probably I'll have my next session this Monday, I will be discussing some very important and interesting reading comprehension questions with you. All right. So that's all from my side today. This was something which I wanted to discuss with you people, right? You can see it, the BYJU'S program is going on. All those who have done decently in CAT, you can attend Srinivas sir and Gautam sir's session on CAT BYJU'S. For enrollment, you can call on the given number or write in to us on the given BYJU'SExamPrep.com mail. All right. Batch number 5 has been rolled out for CAT 22. So all those who are eyeing CAT 22 may enroll with us and be a part of the success story, right? These are our eminent faculties taking up the classes, Vikas sir, Saral sir and Sanojam sir. For any query, please feel free to call us and do like, comment and share and subscribe BYJU'S Exam Prep. So this is Pradip Sengupta signing off tonight. Wish you a very happy Holi, and for MAH CET and CMAT, wish you all the very best. And please don't forget to like the session. Okay, thank you and good night all of you. Expected date for MBA CAT, I think it is not going to be before November if you're talking about CAT 22. Vocabulary strong, Kinjal, you have to read a lot. There is no substitute to reading. Keep reading and don't follow rote learning. You cannot learn the words by heart. All right? Please read. All the best and thank you. Bye-bye.